Record on computer. Yeah. So first of all, happy Thursday. It is rainy outside, and I think most of you are around this area. Karen, I can't remember where you're at. Where do you live? Oh, I asked her, and then she just disappeared. All right. So Hey everybody. Okay, we're getting started here. So today we have a speaker. So I just want to make sure that if you have not, and most of you have, I believe, but make sure if you want to attend the event next, hi Karen, if you want to attend the event next week, that you are registered, because tomorrow the packets will go out, and after that I'm not shipping any. Even if you register on Saturday, I'm not shipping them. You will have to download that and just, and you won't get any of the extras that I'm putting in the little box. So, or the little, whatever it is, it's actually going to come in a padded envelope. So you won't get any extras if you aren't registered, and you'll have to download your workbook. So I'm just saying, if you think you want to come, now's the time to register. Don't wait, but I think most of you are registered. All right. There was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was. So I'm just going to turn it over to our guest speaker today. Lisa Hurler is a professional organizer, and I've worked with Lisa, and she's fun, she's amazing, she's got a great laugh, and she's got great information, and she takes a lot of heat from me, and you know what? She keeps coming back for more, because everything I've ever said to her is about making her a better business person. And yesterday, I didn't know, Lisa, I didn't know that you were scared to speak, right? You never actually said those words. And I'm a really black and white, right? It's like, if you don't tell me in words I can understand, I don't get it. So yesterday, or day before, I heard you that you're scared to speak. You never said that to me before, so I didn't understand why you're pushing back and why you weren't doing it. And it just was pissing me off because you wouldn't do it, and you never said you were scared, right? That we could have worked on. So, but good, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're testing the waters, and I'm glad that you want to speak to this group. So I think they have some things that they could learn from you today. And I think that it's gonna be fun. So let's go ahead and get started. If I think about what I needed to say after that, I'll come back on, but otherwise we'll just be done, and we'll have a helpline today. The helpline will, Lisa, if you want to join us on the helpline, if they have questions, you are most welcome, but the helpline won't necessarily be about whatever Lisa is talking about today. It will be help on getting your events up and going, and everybody by this time should have booked the date of their event. Are we cool? Cool. All right, Lisa, please welcome Lisa Hurler.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. You know, and I appreciate, I told Jean that I spoke like this, like in a network. You know, I get more nervous, I think, speaking in front of a crowd or giving me a microphone, but I think it's easier to just talk, like, as I've really enjoyed doing Zoom, which I'm sure everybody else is doing through our business as well. I am a professional organizer. My company is Lisa Organizes, and I help you organize. I help you organize. Of course I help you organize. I help you live a life with less clutter so that you can focus on things that truly matter. So today what I want to do is talk to you about how to set up and organize your home office. How many of you, just by thumbs up, have had a home office before COVID-19? Okay, so really pretty much everyone, okay? And I, you know, because really, I think I've had a home office since the year 2000 in my home. And what I find is that there's three elements that we need for a home office in order to keep it organized. One would be a workspace that you're just gonna keep all your active projects and just the daily supplies. Two would be a file cabinet, and three would be a storage area, right? So I think it's important, first of all, that we pick an area that we can be comfortable in so that we're not, you know, so that our body isn't aching afterwards. Some people were picking, you know, their, because I saw a couple of the girls, they were using their dining room or their, the bedroom, wherever they're finding, a space to put a home office. But I think most important is for me was, especially when I started, is the discipline, first of all, of going to a work office, a workstation, and be disciplined to do just our work, right? Because I think a lot of the areas for me when I was deciding where to go is that it was a distraction. So if I did it in the kitchen, I wanted to do the dishes. If I did it in the bedroom, I that's all I could think of as work, So finding that great area where to set it up was a big thing, especially if you only have a small space. I mean, now I have a basement, which is where my office is now, but that wasn't always the case when I started. We had, before we used to have these big, huge, workstations that were like L shape, and we had to have all the computer technology and all that in there. And so now, I'm going to try and show you some of these pictures, because I think what is kind of cool is showing, kind of like what we had before. This was something that I had when I first started. I went out to look for a workstation, okay? And at that time, I don't know if you could see in this one, you're gonna see it in my husband, but this was a desk unit that had the tower on the one side and the files in the other. If you could see it on the top, the printer was all the way in the corner, right? And I like to have everything put away. So this unit allowed me to not only have a nice workspace, but it also was able to have everything put away, okay? So then my husband's, when we did my husband's, he didn't need any of that. He, on the other hand, I don't know if you could see, I'm sorry, let me make it a little bit clearer. Tell me when you can see it. Oh my gosh. This was working out much better when I was
There
doing
we
it.
go.
Okay,
Now we can see.
his is just a table. Can you see that now?
Yep.
Now his is a desktop, okay? He has a desktop. I had a laptop because I always had to be mobile. So for him, to decide what kind of workspace or whatever, that's all he needed was that, and he had books. So it was just a little table that we had. In this house that I have now, they actually had two areas cut out for these workstations. It was just kind of cool. I didn't have to do that. But when I moved in, I'm like, how cool is that? This is the house for me, because I put one area had mine and one his, right? Well, just up until recently, when I did change careers, because I used to be a loan officer for 15 years working in my home, I decided to hire someone to do this for me. And what I did was they gave me the opportunity to tell them exactly what I needed. They gave me as many drawers as I wanted. I wanted to have shelves, and again, if you notice, everything I have, I like to put it away. I think everything has a place. And this unit, they created for me and put it in a day. I just loved it. Now my husband, again, his stayed with just the workspace. He again still had the desktop because we updated everything also, but they're all shelves for all his books. So really deciding on what kind, obviously whatever you're going to need for your job. I don't know if you have, whether it's more books or paper, whatever, that's going to decide actually how they would put this together. But this company was so awesome because they actually let me think about it also for a month before they came and put it in for me. And to me, a workstation is so important to really love. So because even though I don't have a whole lot of sun down here, or I don't even have a window because it's in the basement, I love my area that I work in. And I think that's important when we work. I know earlier we talked about, or earlier this week, we talked about getting dressed and coming to the table dressed. And to me, that kind of gives me a sense of order as well, coming to that station. The biggest mistake I see with my clients when I go to help them with their workstation is that they have all their supplies, or they have all their business cards or everything they own on their desk, okay, or around their desk. And so the first thing we want to do is take everything off the desk except for the things that you're going to work with daily, and then find those other areas that we talked about so that they're away from your desk. There should be like only one project at a time on your desk. What I found, and I wish I had a picture of it, is there's clear file folders that even when I'm working on all Jean's paperwork that I put inside, you know, that I would like to put inside. I put it in a file right now, but there's the clear ones you can put in just like an open bin that you can put aside and work just with the things that you're working on every day. Because I like, when I get up every day, I like to have a clear space, a clear mind, and a good start every time I do it, every time I start the day. And that's what helps me, is that I don't have just piles of paperwork everywhere. I just believe that all your paperwork has a place, right? So reference materials, I know for me, I just have, you know, some tech gadgets and extra supplies. And so I usually, if you have a temporary, or if in your office that you don't have a closet, you can change a hanging closet into shelves, which I've done for a couple clients. Okay, either that, or there's all kinds of different units I'm going to show you, because I have new units to just show you. They're kind of like that they're very creative now, because there's so many people turning to home, and what you can use as a quick fix, really, I'm thinking, for a lot of people, you know. The best thing I know about Wi-Fi is that it gave us the ability to not have to have everything right there. My printer's across the room, you know, my file cabinet doesn't have to be right by me as well. So that has helped us in setting up in these either temporary or permanent places that we have to have our office. So some of the file cabinets that they have, if you don't like you know, if you have a company where you have all kinds of gadgets yourself, there's a lot of cabinets that I found that you can actually get bins and put them in. It's kind of like when I go to somebody's, you know, closet or bedroom or whatever, it's how you like to put things away, right? So the standard of just a regular desk or a regular file cabinet might not work for you. You might like some of these other ones that I'm going to show you. So this one that I have here that I found this was just a really neat, just a desk with one drawer that could be put anywhere. And what I found with the architect or whoever was talking about this desk is that they like you to put it underneath or it's smart to put it underneath like a window or in front of a window, so that when you're looking out, you're feeling good about where you are, right? With it, I know Jean likes her desk, so because she looks outside at her pool, it's like a happy place, you know. I think that's the point about putting anything together, is that we really want to like and use what we find, because we're going to be there a long time. This one my mom wanted to use. Now, she was a salesperson, and she put this desk, it was a corner desk with some storage underneath, with some drawers in front of it. That goes in a cabinet. Can you see that? Can you all see that? I'm hoping. That goes right into a corner. And she loved that for her kitchen that she used, because she didn't have much paperwork at the time when she was setting up, you know. This desk, however, this desk goes again against the wall, but it also has some file cabinets, a couple file cabinets in there, if you could see, and a decent sized workspace. You know, again, some of us need more workspace than others than that. And then this one I found was like I was telling you, I'm hoping you can see this. Just tell me if you can't, okay? Um, Okay, this one has the bins I was talking about. It's got bins that can come out and you can store. It's got shelves. It's got files that you can close. I thought that was really a really cool unit, that, you know, someone with that, because it has one whole side where you can just do your work and then all the other thing for storage. Okay. If you can't find, you know, for me, when I'm helping somebody organize their desk, we start with the paperwork, right? And there's so much paperwork. So my question is to you, like now, how many files cabinets do we need to hold our files? I know I have streamlined both my personal and my business to 2 files. Does everyone use bill pay for their billing? Okay, you know, weigh hands. Are you still using checks, or are you using a bill pay or auto pay? Auto pay, thumbs up. Are we auto paying? Okay, so auto paying means that we're not getting any kind of paperwork, right? They're always saying that we're like a paperless society, but I'm not seeing that in so many ways, because people still like to hold on whatever paperwork comes, right? So I have this, I don't know if you've seen or if you know about this app, but there isn't a free app for your phone, and it's called Genius Scan. Genius Scan actually scans any kind of paperwork, so that if you wanted to change your files digitally, you know, like get rid of all of the paperwork, like we're all kind of gearing towards, you would be able to use this scan to put it into your digital file. I use this app to do all the paperwork because I did a couple of jobs in Florida, and I was able to use all the to digitalize all the paperwork, to not only do the closing, like for a couple of clients that I was there, but also to store it and not have it just sitting around, right? So I know a lot of the older clients that I work with, they don't like, you know, the internet period. They don't like putting anything in the computer. But as I work with them little by little, I'm getting them to understand that it's more safe to actually have things in your computer than it is to be around a desk or somewhere that anybody can filter through, right? So if you are, so how many people do paper? How many people are doing paper? Like, do you have paper bills still coming to you? Okay.
I do a
The,
mix.
the files that you have then, right, to me, like there was so much paperwork when it came to investments, or there was so much paperwork when it came to bank statements or anything like that. I don't have any of that in my files anymore. Is anybody still getting statements from the bank? Are you still asking for statements? Okay. So I mean, it's a comfort thing, right? When we get them, like, I like paper, I really do. I like seeing it. I take all my bills and I put them in a pile. What I do differently now, though, than what I did before, is I use the bill pay. I don't like auto pay. I like having the ability to pay my own bills when I want to pay them. And so I will take the bills and I will put them in my bank, um, account, right? Like in the computer, and then it pays on whatever day. And then after, like, say 3 months time, I get rid of my paperwork. You can set up your file for however you want, but the thing is with paperwork, to keep it uncluttered, as well as your desk, is just being consistent, right? I believe everything has a place. Including every piece of paper. So not only will you know where it is, but like when we're talking your home paperwork that, you know, makes it probably to your desk, everyone else in your home too will know where that is when you say, this is what we're doing with it. So whether it's books, okay, I had books. One of the projects I did since I've been home is I went all over the house and got all my books and put it in one place. And then I really analyzed which books I was going to read or which books I wasn't. And then therefore streamline it and put all my workbooks here, or all my, you know, my other books somewhere else. So the books on my desk, I don't have anymore, right? The paperwork that I have with piles of paperwork, that too, when you create a spot or a place for that, you will not have to come and wonder what you're going to do with it all, right? Because it has a place. How many people would really, because I mean, I do have clients that would like me to first set up an auto pay or a bill pay, because either way I can help them, right? Just really to eliminate paperwork. But what else are you finding on your desk that is creating clutter? What do you find the most on your desk that creates clutter?
Paper.
Go ahead, Karen. Can anybody unmute themselves? That's okay, because we can talk now. I mean,
Yeah,
go ahead, Irene.
mine's paper.
Uses paper. And is it all business related or personal too? Do you have both of them at the same time there?
No, it's all business.
All business. Okay, so for me, to create a place of one project at a time, okay, that could be a bin, that could be a clear file case, which is so cool because it changes. You don't have to like label it and all that. I mean, the thing about files, I think that everybody got away from, is that you constantly had to update it, right? So the more you have general, and the more you just keep it by either 3 months, 6 months, or a year, whatever your case may be, is how you can change and update your files or your desk so that you don't have the clutter all on your desk. Okay, so is it that the projects that you have too much paperwork, or it has too many things that you don't have a place for? What is it most causing clutter, like around your work area?
Say combination of ideas, things I want to make sure I look at. So I might have maybe 4 or 5 different ideas going on at once.
Okay.
So then I have all these like loose leaf sheets of paper that I've been taking notes that I really want to make sure I keep. And then I've got some things that I printed. So it's kind of a mess. I won't lie to you.
So it's interesting that you say it that way, because I used to do that all the time, and I had 4 places to put notes and everything, right? Until I met Jean. And then Jean had us do a bullet journal. Who uses a bullet journal? A bullet journal was the coolest idea, because it took all my paperwork and all my, don't you get on the phone and say, well, my calendar's at home, or I have that at home, or that's on my desk, or that's in my kitchen. I mean, I've said it a million times, right? But again, once I streamlined and had one place to put this stuff, I know that all those notes are I actually have and you can create your own bullet journal. You guys can look it up if you haven't had it. It was the best thing I ever did. One of the best things that I did when I went with Jean, because it had one place. So in my place, I actually have a section for notes. So I don't have these little notes anywhere. I have it in the journal. And what's my routine in the morning that we created also is a bullet journal with my notes, and I'm reading it every day, Anybody else, like, what else is on your desk that's creating clutter? Go ahead, Flu.
I tend to keep things that my competitors are doing.
Which would be like
would be like Money Mail or Valpak, so I can see where these restaurants are advertising. So, when you do all that stuff comes in the mail, we just have boxes of it, and I don't know how long to keep it. I like to go through it. So I don't know what to do with that.
All right. So that to me would be, I mean, can't see, I think what I used to do is I used to have a file for everything. And I used to alphabetize everything. And that never worked, because you can never keep it up. Right. So generalizing and categorizing something in a big way creates a space for it. Okay. And then you dictate how big that space is. That's how to not clutter is to just create, this is it. And then either create something else or get rid of it. Right. Because like all the things that you have, if it's all marketing, you could just get one thing for marketing, right? And put in, and then when you want to talk marketing, you're going to pick it up and take it out and not just have it all over the place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have gadgets for things. A lot of people have pictures for things. It's just a matter of trying to group things together, so that when you're thinking that way, and you can visualize it all out at the same time. But then most importantly, you can take all the same thing and put it back as well, so that you're not feeling that way all the time, right? Would that be something that would work for you?
For me?
To do something like that?
You know what? I'm actually thinking that Genius Scan app, when I open up like a money mailer and see the pizza place, I could scan it and then attach it in my CRM.
Absolutely.
To their
Absolutely, because then you would have a file for that, and you would.
Then I can just toss it, and then I can always see when I talk to that client. I can look right there; it's right there. So that might actually help. So thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But I don't know if that's encrypted. I mean, I don't know if that is. You really can't use documents that are pretty private. But like a coupon is fine.
Right.
Like how encrypted is that?
That is encrypted, because I used it, and all the attorneys I work with let me use it.
Oh,
transferring back and forth. That's why I brought it up, because it was used to the attorneys I work with, and it was so and it's not, how you can do a scan or a fax and it goes several different pages and you got all these pages. This lets you group as many pages, and then it's one document going. So if you had one client, now the thing is, you can't go back to it and add to it like you could a normal file. You know what I mean? But you can name it and put it in that file. It's just like that for digitally. And if you're good at that, which I'm getting better at, because that is something I want to help my clients with, and getting better digitally. And it's just having, because we have so much technology, don't we, to keep up with all this stuff. But I love how these quick fixes, which is what I think that is, because we're going to see a lot more digitally everything to keep everything where it's supposed to be, right, than what we had before. Someone else had their hand up. I think, was it you, Karen? Go ahead.
Mhm. So what I find myself doing is, so I'm working with Young Living Essential Oils, and they've got a lot of different products. And so I'm printing off, oh, here's a few diffuser recipes that I really like. Here's some cooking recipes. Here's some things that are working with animals. Here's some stuff about this particular product. And it's like, it's just escalating with all of these ideas, which then I really can't find when
But you,
I
so
want
to me,
share it.
you just said 3 different categories, okay?
Yeah,
And you said them
there's
for a
probably
reason.
12.
Okay, okay, but that's the first thing when we organize it all, right? There's just 3 things that we do, right? You have to have time to do it, right? Then you have to categorize and sort, and then there's a place for it. No matter what we do, no
Okay.
matter what we organize, okay? So if you think of that order, when you're, first of all, you made time for it, you have 12 things that you want to do, and then if that 12 pairs down to 6, you know what I mean? That's really how it works, no matter where we go, no matter how much space we want to have when we're trying to organize something. It doesn't really matter what it is.
Okay, say those 3 again, please.
So you need the time to
Yep.
do it, first of all. You need to sort and categorize, and then you have to have placement where you're going to put it.
Okay. I did have them.
Everything
I
has a
wasn't
place.
sure.
And when I say, and everything doesn't belong on your desk. Anybody else? It's just real interesting to see how people use their office, because I'm looking at the pictures of where everybody's at. Not everybody's sitting in their office, but it is interesting to see how everyone likes to work, because I love my and I used to say in the basement was terrible, but I love where I'm at with my office though. So I appreciate. Go ahead, Deb. You're muted.
Can I share my screen and show you my old office?
Sure.
I want to set last January, my son came and gifted me a new office.
How cool is that?
So this is my old office. And hang on, and I'll show you my new office, which is, whoops, much, much nicer. Whoops, I'm going to stop the share just because, wait a minute. Here we go. I don't know if you can see it.
No.
Is it coming up?
That's what I tried to do. That's why I did it the way I did. Because I have a hard time showing it.
Suckers. All right, I'm just gonna, resume share. What do I know? Okay, so wait a minute. And now I've got another one. Can you see that one?
No, that's why I didn't do it to Zoom, Deb, because it was like it was so much I couldn't figure
All
it
right,
out.
one more. I'm just gonna
Hold it up.
Deb, go ahead and pull it up, and let's go on to another question. We'll come back to you.
All right, no, it's right here. Here it's coming, I think.
Oh, cool. So it's in a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have filing cabinets on the right, the credenza style. So
Good.
Awesome.
yeah, he did a good job.
Very
God
good.
bless him.
Yeah.
Awesome. Merelda, you have a question?
Yeah, Lisa, I am a child of a hoarder, so I try to throw everything out.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you really is, I'm at the point now where I need to do a lot of shredding to make space.
Mm-hmm.
And I find, so if on a Saturday night I'm watching Netflix, I find it rather therapeutic to sit there and tear everything by hand,
Okay.
It's just therapeutic, right? But when I need to do a lot, I know there's services that do it, but here's my issue with the services. They pick it up, they don't really shred it in front of you. They take it to another place. And so now I'm giving up privacy there. There's a certain bit of privacy I'm giving up. So my question really is, do you have a shredder that you recommend, or?
So I have 2 answers to that. Okay, because
Yeah.
I just found this really interesting thing, which I'm excited about because I want to order it as I was doing this presentation. They have a stamp that you can order, and it's like $7, and you hit it on everything that has your personal stuff on it, and it completely eliminates all your personal. You can just throw out your information and don't have to shred it. I wish I had it because I just found it this week, but it's an actual not Magnum type, but it covers any of your personal info. Like most people, when I did a major job in an office up in Wheaton, the guy had his business everything, right? But it just had his address. He just didn't even want his address. So if I would have had the stamp, I just hit the address and I can throw away his stuff because nothing else on there was personal. So the shredding, though, there is a couple companies, because we used to use it for work, that would come right and they shred it right in the parking lot. Okay. The other one I did for my mom in Florida, because she felt the way maybe your parents or whoever you're doing it for, is when you go to Office Depot, they have two different ways you can shred. One, they take it and they put it in a concealed locked bin. Okay. And then when that locked bin, when they come with the truck, they do it there, over, it doesn't go anywhere else. Because I don't like the thing about it going to another location and being done, like you said, but here they do it right on site. So you can ask your Office Depot buy you if that's what they do. And what they do is they charge you by the weight. And so I paid maybe $40 to have my mom's, like I had 10 different things that they needed to shred. And she was okay with it just being put into the bin with a lock until they came and did it. So it really is your comfort on what you're thinking of how somebody's going to shred something. Because, I worked for mortgage and everything we did had to be shredded. And so we kind of like, I figured if the bank put faith in this company that came and did this, then I should certainly do it because I don't have as much as they do to lose, And so that was the company that I called to come and do it, because they come right to your, like Cintas, I believe it was Cintas, it comes right to your driveway and does it right in front of you. If you want to pay the money, see that's a lot more money though. So it depends on how much money you want to spend in shredding as well.
Merelda and Lisa, I actually have a shredder in my office. I got it when I was an HR manager and I did some work from home and I needed to make sure that everything was shredded, that I wasn't schlepping things back and forth, because that would be a problem. So my shredder is called Ativa, A-T-I-V-A, and it is 9 inches across and 18 inches high. So it's not a huge thing. And yes, you have to empty it out in a bag, and I put it in a paper bag and then I throw it in our trash.
Right.
But, it's really helpful. And if you don't do what I did one 6-month period, just pile it up. It takes forever that way to get things shredded. If you remember to shred right away, at least once a week, don't have that big pile.
Well, that, when I go to do it for a client, that's the whole thing, is they have lots of it, right?
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
of course
you
they
have
do.
to have their comfort level of what they want done, because, I do have a little shredder, but that wouldn't help somebody if they wanted it done immediately,
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But for a home office,
it's awesome. And then they have ones that do credit cards and credit cards, especially like your old cards, and the ones that have paper clips on it or no paper clips. I would recommend the paper clips and staples, because most of the stuff that's old need to have that. So the one I used when I worked for this guy in Bartlett, it wasn't a huge one, but I did, oh my gosh, I must have done like 15 different boxes, and it took me probably about 10 hours to do it, and it would shut off these are the key things I'm telling you to watch for. It would shut off when it would get to the level. So when, overflow and get stuck, because a lot of these, if you're trying to do a lot of them to shred, it will get stuck and you hate, oh my gosh, it just takes all your time just in that, waiting for it to cool down. So the ones that actually shut off before it's due, so you can empty it, are the best ones to look for.
Christine, you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to say, what happens on my desk is a lot of, it's kind of more of my follow-up. I know that we've talked about Keep, and I'm not in a place yet where I could do something like Keep, because that's probably more of what I need. But it's like, if I put my stuff in digital, then I don't know how to remember, how to find it, how to follow up with it. That's my fear. So I pile it,
too. So what types of things are you talking about when you wouldn't be able to find it? Like what types of things wouldn't you be able to, you mean how you filed it? You mean how you filed it digitally?
Yeah, or even the structure of how should I, how my file system, I can figure that out. Here's my folders, here's my labels.
Right.
when I do it digitally, it doesn't seem as clear to me. Like, what's the logical,
Okay.
process if you're going to do something digitally? So it would be like when I do a jewelry show, then I want to do my follow-up. My show is over. I have my people who have ordered and I want to follow up with them. So a lot of times I'll keep the receipt on my desk. I'll staple them all together for that show.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you call and you start doing follow-ups and one person answers, another person doesn't answer. And now I'm pulling that one out. And pretty soon I've just got a lot of,
Like all the piles of your receipts and things like that,
and
right?
afraid to put it away or put it somewhere for fear I'm going to forget to finish the follow-up or.
Well, I think I'm like you. I would not want to digitalize anything till it's done. See, to me, digitalizing stuff is when something's completed.
Got it.
So I would rather, like if I was helping you, I would rather set up something in your office that was temporary till it was completed, because you'd be able to find it. And then we would set up a system that you could work with, because it doesn't really matter what somebody else does, right? So if it's receipts and it's by client, and if it's by event, you just said 3 different categories, right? So you would do events, and you say events that are going right now. Then it would be events that are finished, or it would be, marketing. I mean, that's part of a plan. When you sit down, you're really focusing on how something goes, you know what I mean? Because that's really what it is a process. And then you're trying to organize that process so that your mind says, oh yeah, it's here because this is what stage I'm in.
Okay.
So
when you were referring to the clear file folders, that might be a great place, like
that's
that whole
perfect place, because you don't have to label it. It's not permanent. You can find it readily. It's almost like the bins that I do in a storage area, okay? Because you can see it, and that, even color it. I mean, you could put a color in there, whatever, so that you know where it's at, right? And then when you go in to put something away, because you don't want it all over the place, that's easy to do too. They just stack. They just stack up, and so it's not right, and you're like overwhelmed because, oh my gosh, which project am I working on right now, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, thanks.
We have another hand up here. Let me see who that was. Karen Duell.
Lisa, when you mentioned that stamp that you can use over the, how would I look that up on Amazon to find that?
You know what? I will try. I just wrote that down when I was going through this, and
Yeah.
I think I wrote down what the name was, and I'll put it. I will put it in the comments, or in the comments right under this when I find it, because it was the coolest thing. Because I really am going to order it, because some people will just tear off the you can tear it off too, but you still got to get rid of that, right? Some people just really want to shred it. So that it was like a quick fix, but a permanent fix that it will not come off. Yeah. So I will find that name and I'll put it in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, do we have any other questions here? Awesome. Now, let me just say one thing she said about, I told her about a bullet journal, right? I don't keep it in a bullet journal. It's like a simplified version of a bullet journal, where I just keep a little index in front of what the topic is and what different pages they're on. So I might have video ideas on pages 2, 16, 19, 37, and 42. And I just keep a running level of notes, and I just title the top what the date was I wrote the note and where I was or what it's about. Now, that's the journal I use for all of my notes. I did, because if you guys go bullet journal, you're going to go, screw that. It's much too complicated. It's too time consuming. But this year I did add in a bullet journal that would bring a little creativity back into my life, where I was creating, like fun pages and color and tracking. And that's the kind of shit that can take you down a rabbit hole that you can never come out of in a bullet journal, right? If that works for you and it's super fun, like this is super fun for me, and my accountability partner and I now compete on our bullet journals every week, right? We compete on everything. So for that, we all know the loser in sales every week now, starting next week, has to do a dance while the other one records it.
Oh my.
Yeah, right? So
that is funny.
yeah. So these are just some different pages, right? But
well, she's creative and I'm not, but mine just always has the same things. And mine has 4.
I'm
I just
trying
have 4
different things to
sections.
make it work. Yeah.
And then I just have what daily stuff, you know, to keep up with everything. But I think what's so great about it, especially for keeping, it just keeps me in order. That's the whole point, right? That it just gives me direction in one place to go, so that I can, so that I know what I'm doing. You can put your to-do, you could just put what happened during the day, you could put comments. I put all the quotes that you guys might come up with every day, so I remember them. You know, I just know it's in one place.
I also fly a lot, so I created a flight tracker in mine. I've actually had to cancel 2 flights because the conferences were canceled, but now because Southwest always just has that, it goes right to a credit. So, but you have to keep track of the confirmation number, right? I keep track of the books that I'm reading. I keep track of my weight. That page has kind of been ignored for a couple months now, but it's about keeping track of the things that are important to you. Karen, I don't know if I lowered your hand or if you have another question, then we're going to get going.
I do have another question, and actually for you, Jean, because I'm putting together that journal. And I like your idea because I would get way too bogged down in the details on the bullet. You are absolutely right.
Yeah.
But so if I'm doing something like Strategy Sphere, so would I just have a thing that says Strategy Sphere and then just take notes and put page 5 and page 9 and page?
Yeah, absolutely. It would be, it would be what the training notes on the training that day or something, and whatever day it was. So
I have a book
that's how
just for
mine
Jean.
goes. When I go to a conference, so I might have, here's the notes with that I took from my coach on this page, and then the next page is a conference, and maybe I have the next 15 pages or notes from the conference, and then the next day is ideas that I'm working on an offer. I'm working on some content, so that's there. And the way you go back and find it is because you created that index in the front, right? And sometimes you have to just number your pages, right? So like I'm a little behind. This is my 4th book, and this one's filled, but I'm behind in the pages. But I'm not going to put it away with the other ones until I update that, because there are ideas on here. There is content I've created in here. There's things I want to keep track of, and it's kind of useless to me right now until I find the time and go. The other ones I kept up as I was going. For some reason, I got way off track here and did not keep this one up. So now there's really great info in here, ideas, websites, all kinds of cool stuff. I can't find it until I sit down and take a couple hours to go through here and write everything in the index so that I know where it's at. So that's why I haven't put it.
Got like 1 or 2 pages for index, and then all the rest is
and you just go page by page. You don't skip one and go, oh, I think I'll do 2 pages of videos. No, you just have videos on page 6 and then videos on page 900 or 200, right?
Cool.
So you don't skip pages in your journal, because then you're going to waste a lot of journal pages. So I do it's really been, here's the other thing. I take stuff that I print out, and I will actually cut it and paste it into my journal if it's stuff I want to remember. Rather than, like you were saying, Karen, you have a lot of paper that notes you want to hang on to. I print it out and then tape it and put it into my journal book so that I know where they are at all given times.
That's cool.
I used to in an old program, I used to give people a 6-month, they got it for 6 months, but I would give them a monthly marketing calendar for the whole 30 days at a time, right? I would reduce that before I printed it so that it fit inside this book, which is 8 by 10, right? And I would just, if I had one, it's over on the other side, and then I would just print it out and I would cut it and paste it and tape it into my book. So I knew every day what they were supposed to be doing. Similar to that, Irene, similar to that, yeah. But these went back a long ways, yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we get going? Otherwise, the helpline is going to be here today at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
I won't be here. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. I pretty much can answer some organizing questions too, right? When I moved my office from the small office into my dining room, I really was completely organized because, number one, I promised my husband I would be. Number two is now I have a place where I can bring people for trainings and stuff. I needed to keep it clean all the time because I don't want to clean it when somebody comes. I want it to just stay pretty clean. Christine was here the other day where she's gone our day. It was pretty organized, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice. It was cute. And you had mentioned about loving your space.
I love
Like-
my space.
I do too.
And I think that is important to really love the space that you work in, because you just feel good when you're working.
You spend a lot of hours there,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Although, like Christine, I went for a walk yesterday morning, first time, right, in a long time. And what I noticed was when I walked back in the house, my house smelled like dog, and you never said anything. So sorry about that.
I didn't notice.
Oh my God. That was the first time I'd had like some fresh air in a long time. And it's like walking, I'm like, oh my God. Because I've been breathing in like fresh air for, the whole time I was walking, not just like going from here to the car. And I'm like, holy crap, those dogs need a bath. So thanks for not mentioning that.
I didn't notice.
All right. So you guys have a good day, and we will see you today at 4:00 if you need some help. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Thank
Lisa, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good
Thank
job.
you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, nice job. You're welcome. I think they liked you a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, my dogs tell me it's got to go out. So I'm so sorry. We'll talk later, but I just want to tell you, nice job. I'm coming. Yeah, really good job. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. Bye. Come on. Hey Lisa, it's Jean Kuhn here for another tip on how to increase your cash flow fast. So here's the thing, if you want to get more clients, here's one piece you need to know. You need to generate more leads. So what are you doing for lead generation? Are you just posting on Facebook, hoping and praying that some of your friends will see the post and magically want what you have to offer? That's not a good solution. Are you posting on Instagram? Are you posting on LinkedIn or YouTube, right? These are all lead generation strategies, but it's the long way to get there. When's the last time? I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 ways that you can generate some new leads today. Number 1, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone and call people and tell them how you can help them. Now, it wouldn't sound like picking up the phone and saying, "Hi, Amy Dunn, it's Jean Kuhn. Hey, by the way, I've got this great thing, blah, 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 blah. You can buy it for blah, 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 blah. How's that sound, right? You don't do it that way, right? You got to have a reason, a real reason that you can help them. And it could be, hey, Amy, I saw that you mentioned that you were struggling with blah, blah, blah. Did you know that I could help you with that? Would you like to hear more about it? Great. Could we set up a time to talk? Boom, right? Most people, or you could just say, hey, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. Could we set up a time to talk? And in that time that you're talking to them, find out what they need. As a matter of fact, don't talk at all unless they ask you or want to ask what you do, but take more information in from them. Ask them questions that tell you whether or not you can help them, right? So it wouldn't say, if you were a health coach, it wouldn't say, hey, are you struggling with your weight? You wouldn't say that. You'd say, hey, tell me what's going on. What are you feeling like you need help with today? Or what's the biggest challenge that you seem to be having around weight? I'm doing some market research and I'd love to know. Also, that's actually a really great strategy there, to do some market research and ask some questions and interview people. Come up with a list of 5 or 6 questions that you can call them and say, hey, look, I just need, if you would be so great to help me with some market research, right? Here's what the questions I want to ask. What I'd like to know is, how would you respond to those? Make sure you write it down precisely what they said, right? Write it down word for word, because their words are what you will take and use in your marketing copy, right? Their words. So if they said, well, I feel bloated and my tummy hurts all the time, you wouldn't write feels fat, right? And jeans don't fit, right? You wouldn't write that if they didn't say it. Write down the exact words that they're saying, and then write copy that will attract the people that you want to work with by using the words they say. That makes sense? Hey, anyway, if you want to know more about lead generation, on May 22nd, I am doing a live 1-day virtual event where I'm going to be talking about your marketing message. Number one, how many of you are taking a full minute to give your marketing message? Stop it. You should be able to give it in 8 seconds and then tell a story with the rest of your time. Number two, I'm going to be talking about lead generation and all of the different avenues. Did you know there's 3 phases of business? I'm going to talk about the 3 phases of business. Which one are you in, and are you using the right strategies based on that phase? Just saying, most of you aren't. And then the third thing I'm going to talk about is how to really do a genuine, authentic sales conversation where you don't feel salesy, where you don't feel sleazy, where it doesn't make your stomach hurt to say, hey, I do this. Would you like to work with me? Right? It's not about selling, right? It's about servicing. Are you servicing your clients to the best of your ability? I just heard this the other day, and it embodies everything I believe. Serve hard and sell easy. Serve hard and sell easy. I'd like to give credit to Barry Baumgartner for that. So, which you probably don't even know who she is. She's from New York. So serve hard and sell easy. I just love that, right? It's about giving and giving and giving, not your product and services away, but how can you add value to somebody else's life? Serve them. How can you help them and make money too? That's what I teach people. So I'd love to have you come to my May 22nd event, the Ultimate Revenue Roadmap. Honestly, there's a $47 price point on this. It's 10 to 4. It's 9 to 4. It's 9 to 4. I will put a link in the comments below this video if you're interested. By the way, you have to register by tomorrow if you want the swag bag that's going to come shipped right to your house, right? I've got some goodies in there. I've got the workbook in there. I've got some extra goodies I'm going to put in there for you. But if you register after tomorrow, you completely miss out. There will be no swag box for you. What you will get is, hey, here's your workbook. Download it and print it out, right? But I'm going to send you the workbook if you register by tomorrow. $47. I'm going to spend the day with you. I'm going to teach you those 3 things. I'm going to answer whatever business questions you are, and I'm going to teach you the things. I'm going to teach you about 5 or 6 things you don't know right now. You do not know what I'm going to teach you. So I guarantee it, because every single event I do, everybody's like, wow, I didn't know that. oh my God, now that I know that, it makes so much sense. So I'm going to teach that this coming Friday, next Friday, not tomorrow, next Friday. It's a one-day event, but get your registrations in today if you want to participate. So Jean Kuhn, I've had so much fun this week talking to you, and I will see you tomorrow. You know why? Because you can do this. Bye. Hey, We Sow Sisters group, this is Jean Kuhn, and I'm here for my 4th day of doing live video for you. I am so excited to talk to you today. Today I'm talking about, you guys know this is what I talk about all the time, business and how to increase your cash flow fast. So what I'm talking about today is how do you get more clients? Well, in order to get more clients, you need to generate more leads. So I'm going to talk a little bit about lead generation today. And then I'm going to make you an offer you shouldn't refuse. So today it's about lead generating. How are you generating new leads? Maybe you're out there doing Facebook. Maybe you're doing LinkedIn. Maybe you're looking at Instagram. And everybody wants to build their business online because they think it's faster and easier. I can assure you that that's incorrect, right? Online works for some people depending on their business. And now I will tell you, the people who are making millions upon millions of money online are network marketers, of which most of you are not, right? You're not a network marketer. You're not investing 5 figures a month in Facebook ads. The ones who are making, Russell Brunson, I thought I saw a statistic. He's making over $300 million a year in his company, but he's putting several $1,000,000 a year into Facebook ads. And all he's looking for is, if I spend $1, I get 3 back. If I spend $1, I get 3 back, right? So this is part of the reason why he can generate enough income using social media. Most of us, including myself, don't have enough cash that we can keep investing in Facebook ads and have them benefit us. So we have to do it differently, right? We actually have to meet people. We have to talk to people. We have to serve people. So that's the best way to get new leads, is how can you help more people? How can you show them how you can help them? How can you actually serve them? And how can you do that before you ask for anything in return, right? Serve hard, sell easy. That's my philosophy. I just heard somebody say it in those terms the other day, and I thought, oh my God, that's perfect. That's exactly what I believe, right? Serve hard and sell easy. So how can you do that, right? It's about showing people how you can help them, right? Really, sales, all sales means is how you help someone. That's all it means, or marketing, that's all it is how can you help someone? So I just want to tell you, on next Friday, May 22nd, I am doing a one-day event, and I'm going to cover 3 things, and I'm going to tell you why you need to be there, right? Number 1, I'm going to be talking about your marketing message. Oh, great, you have a 1-minute infomercial that you go through exactly what you do. Well, if your marketing message, if your infomercial is more than 8 seconds, you are doing it wrong, right? You're doing it wrong. Let's nail down a marketing message for you, and then spend the rest of your time telling us a story about how you help someone. Number 2, I'm going to be talking about the 3 phases of business. Did you know there were 3 phases of business? Probably not. Did you know that each phase has a different marketing avenue? Probably not. Did you know that social media advertising, like Facebook ads and things like that, is in phase 3? Probably not. I'm going to be talking a lot about that. And I'm going to also talk about sales, right? How to ask somebody to work with you so you don't get that pit in your stomach and you feel good about telling them how you can help them. So I would love to have you join me next Friday. If you're going to do that, you have to register no later than tomorrow, and I'll put the link in here when I'm done with the live video. You have to register no later than tomorrow, because tomorrow I send out the swag bags, right? Which will have your workbook, and it will have some other goodies from me to you, so that you look forward, right, to the online event next Friday. And you're surprised, right? My whole goal is surprise and delight. So but if you don't register by tomorrow, I will not send out one on Saturday. I will not send one out on Monday. It's like, if you don't register tomorrow, you lose out, right? So there's a thing. It's $47 for an entire one-day event, 10 to 4. You'll learn so much you did not know. You will be, there's already 24, 25 people registered. You will be meeting them. Some of them you know, some of them are We Still Swimming. You will meet some new people. You'll learn, make some new friends, right? There's a lot of business that's always done at my workshops. So again, another reason why people should attend. So when you don't know right now what you don't know. And I'm going to tell you what you don't know May 22nd at the Ultimate Revenue Roadmap. So I'd love you to be there. It's going to be super fun. It's going to be very informative, and it's going to be, most of all, profitable. You can do this.